Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Iron Kaiser Gaming, and welcome back to Age of Empires 3. I know you guys have been itching for some AoE3 action, and I am more than happy to provide. I've got a really special game for you guys today. This is a free-for-all battle, and I don't normally cast free-for-alls on the channel, but this isn't just any free-for-all match. No, this is a part of Samurai Revolution's funky free-for-all series. And the way this works is every single battle has some kind of special rule that totally transforms how the game is played. It definitely is going to require some adaptability on our 6 players' parts to see who can emerge victorious and stand triumphant in a really weird free-for-all battle. So, in today's match, our 6 players are limited to the Fortress Age. They are limited to Age 3. You're not able to go up to Age 4. No factories, no heavy cannon. It's going to require maybe an adaptation to the usual skills and strategies that these players are used to. So, let's cast it, let's dive in. If that sounds like fun, be sure to like the video. Let me know in the comments below that you enjoyed it, and consider subscribing to Iron Kaiser Gaming, as well as checking me out on Twitch, because I do a lot of casting over on Twitch as well. Anyway, let's dive into today's battle. We have in the blue, the Claymore 2004. Playing as the Maltese. And let's go in a clockwise fashion here. Over in the 7-8 o'clock, we have Forbidden Soul in the red, playing as the Ottomans. Then, in the 9-10 o'clock here, we have Pablo 1502. No. This is Pedro. Pedro in the orange, playing as the British. Then we have, at about the 11-12 o'clock, Pablo 1502 Camacho playing as the Japanese. In the yellow, Papa Sparta, also playing as the Ottomans. And then finally, in the purple, A. Timchenko playing as Mother Russia. Alright, the Russians. So, this would be really interesting. I have no idea which of these 6 civilizations benefits most from not having access to Age 4, from the game being capped in Age 3. I'm thinking, I mean, the Ottomans are just strong throughout the game. They have a strong Age 2, a strong Age 3. I'd say they have a really strong Age 4. Maybe the Ottomans hurt a little bit from not having the 4th Age. I mean, everybody obviously is missing out by not having Age 4, but some civilizations miss out more than others. Malta, I think a lot of the Maltese strong cards are in Age 2 and Age 3. So maybe the Maltese are a good pick here. I mean, the British are going to be able to boom without, Age 4 cards. Russia, I mean, you're missing some cool things like Peter's toy soldiers, but I don't know. I feel like they've picked good civs here. Maybe the Ottomans, actually, I'd say maybe hurt the most because you're missing out on some of the great Bombard cards and stuff that are, a really strong pick. As the early game is setting up, and we have a little bit of wait before the action starts. Okay, Sparta's calling out Claymore's position. Forbidden Soul, lols. Lemaus even. Okay, let's actually take a look at the decks. See if we can maybe get some info from there. See, this is great. Yeah, so Claymore's come up with his own deck for this mode. Everything, Age 1, Age 2, Age 3. Obviously, nothing in Age 4. No, sir, there is no TP. If you were hoping for trade posts, you were going to leave disappointed. Steel bolts, that's going to be really good if he goes crossbows. Okay, so yeah, crossbows and pikemen. I think we're going to see a lot of crossbow play from Claymore. It's just my gut instinct here. Archaic Soldier HP, Archaic Soldier Combat. Okay, he's just loading up on these Age 1 cards. I guess that's one of the fun things about this particular free-for-all. We're going to see a lot of Age 1 cards that we otherwise don't normally get to see. I don't think you would normally send Bailiff. But that's in the deck here because, you don't have Age 4 to worry about. Let's see if I can do this. Let's go to Forbidden Soul next. Alright, I like it. A lot of eco cards. A lot of eco cards. I'm actually, I would be a little concerned if I were Forbidden Soul that, you know, you're missing the Janissary card here, and I think they have a Deli card too. No military cards in H2 means that he could be vulnerable to an H2 rush. Just because the game is capped at H3 doesn't mean that you're going to make it to H3, right? But even if I say that, he is getting out Janissaries right away, so he will not be defenseless in the event that Claymore or Pedro attack. Speaking of, let's go over to Pedro's point of view. Alright. Interesting pick. You have Fulling Mills. I'm not surprised that this card is in his deck, but I am surprised that he's pulled this out right away. You know, deer do not count as livestock. This is like sheep, right? So there might have been a sheep that benefited from this, but I feel like if I were in his shoes, I would have much sooner thrown out, well, you know, maybe send the sheep, maybe Virginia Company is what I'm thinking, would be a really good pickup. You know, if you've got this in your deck, if you're planning on using this at all, then I think this is maybe one of the first ones that you send. Especially for what appears to be a really boomy, eco-focused, there's literally no military cards in this deck. So, I'm really surprised. I would think Virginia Company or maybe the Sawmills. I like the Exotic Hardwood. That's actually, that was a good one to throw out. That one surprises me. What can I say? Likewise, Rendering Plan. Okay, what's going on here? Rendering Plan. You have no boats. You will have... I don't think you can have any boats. Does that do anything for us? Boats gather food and coin faster. All right. Pedro, I got to admit, you're confusing me. It's weird. Going over to, not the Claymore, we want to go to Pablo. Where is Pablo? Okay, he is in the middle of throwing down a Consulate and a Barracks. I'm really curious to see what sort of Consulate play he makes here. All right, in his deck, oh. Now, this tells me Pablo, he's sort of relying on some tried and true strategies. We're not going to see adaptation from him. He's going to stick with what he knows. And the reason why I can tell that is because his deck is full of Age 4 cards that he will never be able to use. Right? What he should have done is maybe copied this over and then threw in some extra, you know, Age 1 and Age 3 stuff to sort of fill out his deck. But what that does tell me, on the other hand, I mean, that could be a strength, because it would imply, you know, that he's not getting sort of psyched out by the rules of this free-for-all. He's going to stick with the classics, and that might take him to victory. Papa Sparta. I don't know why I said Papa Smurf. Papa Sparta. Also an Ottoman player. Let's take a look at his deck. Very similar. Is that actually like exactly the same? This is Age 3 set of cards. No military cards at all. He's relying on the actual strength of the Ottomans. You know, just being able to train their own units. What is this guy? Matraki School. All infantry train faster, especially Ottoman infantry. Cool. Very, very neat. Yeah, just eco-text, eco-cards. If the game goes long, if Sparta is one of maybe the last ones to make it in this match, I think that the eco cards will be extremely helpful. And you'll be glad that you did not have... Oh, poor Pablo. You'll be glad that you didn't have the, you know, those military cards, because they eventually, you know, run out of value compared to the eco cards. But, you know, if you want to do some sort of early aggression, as we see Cossacks coming out for Timchenko, let's go over to his deck real quick here. Okay, same thing about Timchenko that I said about Pablo. Looking at the deck here, only a few H1 cards, a bunch of H4 cards you will not be able to use. These factories, you're never getting there. You're never getting these heavy cannons. It's actually 1, 2, 3, that's 6 cards. Yeah, I would say that's definitely a mistake. You know, you're missing out on a lot that you could be drawing upon over the course of this match. Okay, so I tell you what I'll have you guys do. Go ahead and leave a comment down below at this point in the game. If you're listening along at this point, who do you think is going to win this thing? And you can edit it later or leave yourself like a nested comment to, you know, with more stuff later. But I want to know right now, Who do you think is most likely to win this thing? Right now, on the scoreboard, Claymore's looking pretty good. If we take a look, let's analyze our Vil counts really quickly, because I think the fighting is about to start. We see very defensive play here. Papa Sparta says, that was uncalled for, Claymore. Yeah. Okay, walls are up for Pablo, so he's going very defensively. Let's get some Vil counts really quickly. Pablo has 33 Vils, and of course some shrines. Pedro has 29 Vils, getting out-Villed as the British. Okay, we have the which one is this? The Claymore, Malta, 35 Vils, 19 Vils for Papa Sparta, 27 for Forbidden Soul. Wow, wait a minute, 19 and 27. How did that happen? What's going on there? It's because Papa Sparta went up to age 3. Okay, nice. And Timchenko with 35 as well. Okay, so these early ecos are getting set up, and we're getting a sense at this point in the game about the unit compositions that each player is bringing to the table. So the Hussar here, or Hussar. Let me see if I've got this written down. Expeditionary Heavy Cav, very cool. The Order Hussar are neat because they actually will automatically age up as you go through the ages. So once Claymore hits age 3, these guys will get some extra HP, some extra attack. He's not going to need to research tech for that. Pretty neat. Also going crossbows, I feel vindicated. Yep. Janissary through the roof. Okay, the numbers right now are good for Forbidden Soul. I like it. And in fact, I would say if he attacked right now... Janissaries, crossbow. Okay, they're both age 2. He might do some serious damage, but the longer this goes on, as Claymore is able to mass up more crossbows. You know, these are obviously light infantry. We can even see in the tooltip here. These are light infantry, good versus heavy infantry. Janissaries are heavy infantry, right? Weak versus light infantry. So that means the Janissaries could be in trouble here if they wait too long. A couple of musketeer out for Pedro. See, some players are really interested in the heavy infantry, and the boom is on for Pedro. I got to know, did he ever pick up Virginia Company? Yeah. All right, there's Virginia Company. I like it. I like it. And he's got the wood. Yeah, just throw down more houses. Just supercharge that eco. Okay, in Japan's case, we have no military. It's all about the economy. Hoping he doesn't get attacked. Humbarachi. Ottoman Siege Heavy Infantry. Very, very cool. Combined with Janissary. So, Heavy Infantry plus Siege Heavy Infantry. I wonder what he's going to attack, the Japanese or the Russians. Either way, he better hope light infantry's not in play, because that would counter both of these units. But even as I say that, the Humbarachi, they also, even as they're countered by light infantry, they also sort of are good against light infantry. Or, you know, they're good against infantry as well. So, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Russia, meanwhile, also playing a very defensive strategy. He's got 2 blockhouses up, which is nice. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Action happening here. The Janissaries and the Humbarachi. Okay, both the Ottoman players have the same idea for unit compositions. I kind of like that. I like that, you know, that they have there's obviously a strategy that they both have locked onto, which is pretty cool. Okay, so a little bit of a dance there. Moment of truth. Are you actually going to go in, Claymore? Are you going in, Forbidden Soul? The soul is forbidden. Okay, right now, it's oh my goodness, you're toying with us here. I'm looking at the minimap. I see no other action happening. It's all economic. It's all players just sort of building up. Which I think it makes sense. I'm the kind of guy, when I play Age of Empires, I don't care if it's 2 or 3 or Mythology or 4 or whatever, I like to throw those early punches. But in big team games and free-for-all games, I think that comes back to bite me because, you know, you might get the jump on one player, but it just leaves you vulnerable to everybody else. You've got to be able to balance early aggression while keeping the boom going at the same time. It's tough stuff. Okay, this is a fight. This is a fight right here. The Janissaries versus the veteran crossbowmen. Okay, they have an age up on these guys, and this is at least seemingly a fight that you would want to have if you are the Claymore. Light infantry beat heavy infantry, right? Right? The Hussar are doing a great job serving as sort of a screen, a front line. Forbidden Soul immediately calls it as his army gets wrecked. Meanwhile, up here in the north, more action. Claymore calls the GG to Soul. The Humbrachi, look at the damage. The siege damage. Don't underestimate Grenadiers, guys. I don't use them a lot, almost ever. And I think that's a mistake on my end, because look at the melt these buildings. This castle? No. If you're Pablo, you're in trouble. And, you know, I think the scary thing is, if you are, like Timchenko, for example, I don't think that you know. Yeah, you don't know anything about this. You don't know what's coming. What you do know, oh my goodness, Claymore immediately swiveling around and now dealing with his other neighbor. Very clever, because I think that, you know, with Pedro, for example, when he sees that Forbidden Soul has, you know, is out, I don't know whether, if I were in his shoes, would I be thinking, okay, I have a really aggressive neighbor to the south, I need to prepare for that? Or am I thinking, okay, my southern flank is kind of free for now, I can worry about green in the north? Not realizing, of course, that green himself is taking a beating right now. I don't know. Okay, the Cossacks jumping on the crossbows, that's definitely a good play. But the Order Hussar, because again, they get that shadow tech, they're upgraded automatically. They are definitely better than the Cossacks. Mano a mano. This is a fight that is, again, pure numbers if nothing else. It's good for Claymore. Can they slip through? Yeah, there we go. Okay. The walls are down. The Maltese, they are in. Hey, by the way, let me check really quickly here. Let's see these cards. Yeah, he's really teched up the crossbows. Timchenko is down. And to his credit, I'm shocked to find that Pablo is still in. He is not surrendering this. I wonder if he's losing a wonder. Like, there are several wonders here. He's getting a trickle of resources. I think this, yeah. A trickle of resources. He's getting unit reductions as soon as these wonders go down. That's gonna sting. Still, I applaud Pablo for getting in this game. You know what I'm surprised to see, and maybe there's sort of a set of rules about this, you know, in the free-for-all. I'm surprised that we're not seeing diplomacy. If I were Pablo, I would be talking to Claymore right now and saying, hey, you know, Papa Sparta, he's really causing trouble. Or maybe trying to negotiate with Sparta to say, look, you're beating up on me, but look at the scoreboard. Claymore is your real threat right now. You guys, let's team up and deal with the guy, you know, in front. I don't know. Maybe that's against the spirit of how these guys play their free-for-alls, but I know that would be in the forefront of my mind right now. I like how he recognizes I could stay in this base, but why? Actually, yeah, with Timchenko out, there's really no reason to stay. He's trying to get to the next opponent. Just trying to smash people. Oh, poor Pablo. No, Pablo. Claymore, don't do it to him. No. This has to be GG. Pedro's impressing me because he's got second place on the scoreboard, and as far as I'm aware, he's not done any sort of attacking at all. Let's go over his point of view. Here's Pedro. training up some musketeer. Yeah, good. Just again, eco cards, eco techs. You love to see. I do wish that the longer it takes to send this 8 settler card, the less valuable it's gonna be. I think that should be a priority card to send here. But
Muskets at the ready.
yes, veteran musketeer. You love it. Ah, yeah, the outpost behind the walls. What are you gonna do, Papa Sparta? What are you gonna do? I love it. Uh-oh. Unfortunately. Oh my goodness. I mean, I know this is not how... We just learned this in build cap. Oh my goodness, yeah. Hey, dude, if you're not... What is your Vil count right now, Papa Sparta? It's 25. Yeah, you've got to research... Yes, the melee system. Does that mean this is the first time he's playing the Ottomans? Because no way do you play the Ottomans, I don't know, more than once or twice and not know about the 25. The need to research the melee system. I feel really bad for Pedro here because he has a really good defense in the north against, well, what was Pablo. Now it's Papa Sparta. And then meanwhile, like, you know, he's so fortified up in the north only to have Claymore swoop in from the south. Musketeer. Now these are, let's see, vet musketeers versus Order Hussar. Yeah, so age 3, age 3. Hospitals coming up here. Yeah, I was gonna say the crossbows. Where are the crossbows, right? Oh no, the Dragoon, the Musk-Goon composition is going to get absolutely countered here by these hardcore Maltese crossbowmen. I feel like light infantry was a really good pick here for Claymore. I don't know if this was his thought process, but most of the players on the battlefield are going into heavy infantry. And so being able to mass up light infantry, not just any light infantry too, but light infantry with steel bolts and, you know, all of these cards. Your score scares me, Claymore. Yeah, it scares me too. I feel like it's a really good pick. And the Hussar, even though the Musketeers, they do beat cavalry. The Musketeers don't really need to beat the Hussar don't need to beat the Musketeer. They just need to serve as a front line to let the crossbows do their job. Yeah, Pedro resigns. That doesn't surprise me. That's tough. How long will Pablo 3 down? Oh my goodness, he's scary. He is scary. Papa Sparta, what are you gonna do? Alt, I'll trust you then. I'm assuming he's saying, I'll trust you about the cannons. You don't have cannons. Which is actually true. Claymore does not have cannons. But he does have veteran crossbowmen. Go over to Claymore's point of view here. Yeah. This is gonna be tough. I think if you're just Sumbarachi. The thing is, look at all of these Grenadier. If it's a matter of crossbow versus Humbarachi, I think that the Grenadiers here actually will win that fight. The question is going to be how effective are the cavalry as a screening front line, right? Because the Grenadiers, they're not as effective against cavalry, right? I mean, they're not. So
Yes, Hussar.
if the Humbarachi, if they auto fire on the cavalry, then the crossbows will clean up. But if it's a head-on fight between crossbows and Grenadier, I think that they do Grenadier count as artillery? Okay, a little bit of an advertisement for my Better Unit Description mod, which is about to, by the way, get a huge update very soon here. But you can kind of hover over it. You can see this is siege heavy infantry. If they were artillery, it would say Ottoman artillery infantry or something like that, right? They are not artillery. That means they're not vulnerable to culverins. Siege units are vulnerable to militia units, believe it or not. But you can tell, though, because they are heavy infantry, they are vulnerable to these crossbows. So, be sure to keep your eyes peeled. I know I've already kind of done the consider liking and subscribing thing, but really, there's going to be a big update that I'm planning on showcasing for the Better Unit Description mod in a couple of days. I think it's a tool that I would say every AoE3 player and caster should have, especially, you know, for learning the game and learning new things about the game. It's a really great tool. I'm really proud of it. So definitely consider subscribing, if for nothing else, to keep your eyes peeled for when that announcement comes out. Anyway. 50,000 points on the board for the Claymore. Half that for Papa Sparta. I think a big part of that has to be the eco. Claymore on 60 vils right now. And he is floating thousands of resources, especially food. This is one of those situations. Oh my goodness. Oh, the fixed gun coming online. We've got the frontier outpost coming up. This is tough because, especially with, I don't think they count as infantry either. No, they do count as infantry. They are heavy infantry. All right. Claymore being very helpful, even as he's preparing to set this forward base to end Papa Sparta's hopes and dreams. Economic theory coming in. A lot of eco cards behind us. Oh my goodness. As if Malta needs more eco. Right. My concern here is, even if, let's say Papa Sparta just destroys this army. We can hope. Are they gunpowder troop? Let's find out. I'm not seeing that as a tag at the bottom. It might be, but... Okay, so here we go. Papa Sparta has 34 vils to Claymore's 64. And I think it's the economy, because both have really strong armies on the field right now. You got 75 crossbows and 25 Hussar versus 66 Humbarachi. Man, and the cavalry. The cavalry are just, with all of these Hussar, there's no way. There's just no way. Right? How does Papa Sparta come back from this? Just, it's a slow grind, guys. It is a slow grind. What do you do? What do you do if you are in Sparta's shoes? You know, at this point, it might be too little too late. I think he has to take this fight. He has to hope that the Janissaries can serve as a good enough front line for the Hussar. You know, maybe with the Janissaries kind of doing damage up front, Grenadiers doing that area of effect damage in the back. Maybe this will be enough? Let's find out. The cavalry are all but down. Good. And now we've got to see if the crossbows... Look, they're getting blown up. So, Claymore actually doing the right thing, not getting cocky. He's sort of retreating and pulling back here. Maybe hoping that the field gun, the fixed gun, I mean, should do some damage. Really, really smart of Claymore not to get overly confident. He's sitting back, using his superior range to chip away at this Grenadier mass. Because I think if the grenades were able to just jump on these crossbows, he would blow them up. In fact, I almost wish, like, Claymore's so far ahead. Come on, man, throw the guy a bone, right? But no, there's no honor in putting on the kid gloves. He's going for the win. Sparta calls to GG, which means, like, probably the surprise of the match. Pablo 1502 Camacho takes second place with... Where are you, Pablo? He's got 27 vils right now. Yeah, they are very... I'm assuming he's talking about the Grenadier. Yeah, they are very tough. Can't believe he's kiting me. I'm actually surprised. Is chat able to come through when you're out of the game? I guess so. Yeah, so this is dead chat. Talking to each other here. Yeah. Hey man, you gotta mix it up. I think your pick here would be if you're going up against Claymore, probably going heavy into the heavy cav. I think massing up a whole lot of deli would have been really helpful. Anyway, Pablo calls it GG. Well done to Claymore. That was kind of fun. There was a lot of action across the map, but ultimately, wow, what a dominating performance by the Claymore 2004. Well done, guys. I hope you enjoyed watching this game. If you did, again, please consider liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and let me know in the comments below, do you like the idea of free-for-alls? Do you want to see more? Do you want to see more Age of Empires 3? Let me know in the comments below. For now, this is the Iron Kaiser signing off. Have a great day out there. We'll see you around.